Hi everyone, and welcome to SSK12 Introduction to University Learning at Murdoch University, and also welcome to OUA if it's your first OUA unit. The purpose of this little video is to give you an overview of the unit and to give you an indication how best to approach it, plus a little intro on how to navigate the site and also how to work through the assessments and more of an overview on how to use this so-called learning management system. We call it the LMS. So you can see there's a little navigation tool over here which is able to be collapsed as it is now or expanded, and you can jump at any point to any of the weeks here and also between units that you may also be studying other Murdoch units. So wherever you are, when you click on any links on this or over here, this navigation bar will always remain here. So if you ever get lost, you can always find your way back using this navigation tool over here. So we reduce it for the moment to give ourselves a nice clean screen. As you can see over here, we've got the activities block over here that you can link to assignments, link to all the discussion forums, the quizzes, which is actually your learning journal. We'll talk about that in a moment, and links to other resources as well. Okay, so all of the downloadable resources are actually available through this easy link over here. What I've tried to do when designing this, the layout and the unit, is actually to make it as easy to understand, easy to follow, and as logical as I could possibly make it. So we're working through the weeks down here. So okay, let's get started with introductions. You can see that this is a forum. This little symbol here indicates that it's a discussion forum, and you'll see that there is a discussion forum in every week. And obviously we'll be discussing in that tutorial discussion forum the issues, the skills, and the problems, and the issue and the any other concerns that you've got for each week. So we compartmentalize these. You can see week 7 has its own discussion forum. Week 4 has its own discussion forum. So it's easy to refer to all of the issues that arise in those weeks. You can see also that every week has exactly the same format. We start with a learning guide, we start with a lecture, we have a required reading. Sometimes there's also a recommended reading, which if you have time and if you're very engaged and you have a little bit of spare time in that week, you can go on and read that one too. Then we have the learning journal, then we have the tutorial discussion. And you can see this is replicated week by week. It's the same every week. The format is the same every week. So once you've completed one week, you'll have a really good idea about how to approach the next. The announcements tool here is literally just exactly that. It's announcements from the unit coordinator, and I'll keep those to an absolute minimum. This will remain here, and it's really for just very important things that I will say. There will be no opportunity to respond to this. This is just a one-way announcement tool. What you see here is the Unit Information and Learning Guide. What I've done is stripped out from the Unit Information and Learning Guide a complete document that would normally arrive on paper to an internal study student. You can see if I click on here, it pops up, or it would download. Okay, depending on what your browser settings are. So you can control whether it pops up in a tab in a new window or whether it's automatically downloaded. Obviously my browser here has nominated that it's downloaded onto my desktop, but I'm able then to scroll forward and back at any time and refer to this. Okay, so this is a PDF document. Everything that you find in this PDF document, all the unit information, all the learning guide, is all split throughout these weeks. So you can see here, this week has a learning guide. This is part of this document. This week has a learning guide as part of this document. This week has a learning guide as part of this document. So what I've done is turned this information in the Unit Information and Learning Guide into web pages for you to look at bit by bit. The unit information, the assessments, is all part of the Unit Information and Learning Guide. There's a link here to a direct assessment. Okay, so we click on there. As you can see then, we've got a detailed description of the assessment tasks that you're about to do. There are 9 weekly entries for the learning journal. There is a 1,000-word essay. There's a 1,500-word essay. First essay is due in week 6, second essay is due in week 11. The links to these for submission purposes are either available on the tools, which I'll show you in a moment. Over here, either available here on the assignments tab here, are also available in week 6. You'll see there's a direct link there to the submission tools. You can either click on here or click on here. The choice is yours. It takes you to the same place. Okay, so let's come back to the assessments. Okay, so we see it bills weekly. The details of the assessments are there. Okay, so the learning journal is worth 35%. There's a breakdown of what the individual elements are of it, and there are 8 entries in which you have to make in terms of a critical review of readings, and there's 1 reflective entry. The reflective entry is your reflections and how you're going to incorporate into essay 2 the feedback that you've got from essay 1. Again, all of these things will build week by week, and your tutor will discuss in far more detail the individual elements and good approaches to this. But all the information that you have here is also replicated week by week through, so you can see in here in the learning guide. The learning guide literally guides you how to do the learning for that week. So you click on here and you can see that there's the learning guide for that week. We talk about the learning objectives, the key concepts. We talk about the tutorial discussion is actually about life balance. I've actually made some hyperlinks here to the readings, so you can click on these. They take you direct to the readings, either in the library e-reserve or to an external e-journal. Okay, and then we also have reading strategies. So there is a strategy for reading each reading, and so we've asked you to approach the reading in a particular way, looking for certain elements. So this is hopefully training you how to read an academic text in a different way to the way that you would read a newspaper or read a text message or so. And they've also got some tips there too. So your tutor will be working through this, and also there should be enough information in here, even if you don't engage in the tutorial discussion, on how to complete the learning journal entries for that week. Okay, so we can always click back along this breadcrumb trail. So we got the lecture here, we click on here, it takes us directly to a link. Here we type in your student number and your password that you would have set in order to get into this unit, and then you literally just watch the videos. And I've made all of these pop up so you can actually, you could potentially read here. And actually, if I log in while I'm talking to you, and I can show you that you can have open at the same time your reading. You can have your lecture open, so there's your lecture. I can just click the go there. I can also have the reading open. I can click on that. It's opened up a separate tab. Okay, so I'll just log in. And there we go. We have an additional reading there. I have my browser set up to download all of the documents individually, and so I can arrange on my screen here the individual elements. I can have open the reading and also the lecture, and we can have everything open at the same time, so we can work across all 3 documents. Not everybody wants to do it to work in this way, but that's potentially what we've got here. All right, so you can. I've made these all available, so you can continue to read the learning guide, and you can read the reading, and you can also watch the lecture. So they're all available to pop up at any time. Okay, so let's extend this again. This is my darling daughter. Okay, So here we go. Let's go back to this week. So you can see then we've got the learning guide, week 1 lecture, required reading for the week, the recommended reading for the week, your learning journal, and the tutorial discussion. Every week there will be a tutorial discussion forum which will be led and guided by your tutor, but it's also your space. To click on the learning journal, I would recommend that you do these learning journals every week because they consolidate the learning. It's an affirmation really and a confirmation of what you're learning throughout the week, and it's definitely by far and away the best way to study in this unit. It should be very logical. If you work with all the content, the skills, and complete the tasks for that week, it should build very easily and you'll complete easily within the 13-week period. So if you click on the learning journal, you can see there it's actually in the form of an online quiz. So we talk about the purpose of the learning journal, the structure of it. Okay, we've even got some videos in here on how to use the technology, how to complete a learning journal entry. Okay, so that also clicks open there, and this should link directly to an echo recording. Okay, so I won't do that now, but that's exactly, and this is Angela Jones and Catherine Kelly talk through how actually to make a learning journal entry. So we try to guide you as much as we can. We've even got an example, a very good example of a learning journal entry that you can download in the form of a PDF and then compare your own attempt to it or in preparation. Okay, so then you write into these boxes and you submit directly online. Okay, whereas the essays are submitted using a submission tool, but we can talk about that again. I'll make another video for you about how to do that. Okay, so let's go back to this. As you can see, logically we work through week by week. So I advise you not to race ahead, just work through week by week. The learning guide, the lecture, the reading, complete your learning journal, and all the while having tutorial discussions. Anyway, so I look forward to seeing you online, hearing from you in the form of discussion posts, and but your principal point of contact will be your tutor. You'll find out who your tutor is within a day or so of starting the unit. So all the best, and welcome to Murdoch and welcome to SSK12.